Hello, good morning. Today we are going to do a review of linear relations, and the first part A, is graphing a line. And before we graph a line, we want to see what information we can get from a line. And this is a line given, and from the line we can find the y-intercept, that is a point that the graph intersect with a y-axis. Y-axis, and that is we call y-intercept. And from this graph, you will see it is 2. And for that line, actually the point is 0, 2. Okay. And for the slope is rise over run. Okay. And the rise is we use 2 points on the graph. We use this one as one point and another point on the grid. We use another point on the grid because it's easier for us to read the rise and the run. So we go a right angle. So go the horizontally to the right, then we go up from that point. So one horizontal line, one vertical line. It's kind of like a right angle, half of the right angle. And the vertical we call is a rise. So that is for this graph is 2. And the run is horizontal distance. So it's 3 grid. So run is 3. And the slope of this line is rise over run. It will be 2 over 3. Why we want to have these two informations? Because the slope is m, y-intercept is b, and in the slope-intercept form for the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. So for the equation, always you have xy there, and the m and the b will be two numbers, two values. So if we substitute m and b into this equation, you will find the equation of a line. So y equals slope is 2 over 3, replace m with 2 over 3. So 2 over 3x, then plus b is 2. Then you have the equation of a line for this straight line is y equals 2 over 3x plus 2. The type of variation is if the line passes through the origin, we call it direct. This one, it doesn't pass through the origin, so it's indirect. So it's indirect variation. Then the next one, we are going to see how can we graph a line. We have learned 2 ways to graph a line. One is we could use a table of values. So we have x and y, and once we have the x value, y value, you will have a point on the graph, x comma y. So for the table of values, we are going to give x value, and we don't want to make the problem too complicated, so we want to give the x value easier numbers. So we may just give -1, 0, 1. And for the y value, we are going to substitute x value into the equation y equals 3x minus 4. So for the first one, x equals -1, then the y equals 3, then substitute -1 into the right side of the equation of the line. Then we are going to do the bad math times first, then adding, subtracting. 3 times -1 give you -3. Then -4, you will have -7. The x and y value represent 1 point on the graph. So this is how we are going to use table values to graph a line. The next one, we are going to substitute 0 into the equation. So 3 times 0 minus 4. Then 3 times 0 give you 0 minus 4. The answer will be negative 4. So a second point will be 0, negative 4. Then do the same thing for x equals 1. So 3 times 1 minus 4 give you 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So 1, negative 1. You could continue to fill in this chart, but we know for a line you have 2 points. You could graph a line. We have 3 points, so the third point is for checking. So we are going to see you need to label the scales and xy coordinate first. So 0 go by 1, then negative 1, negative 1. Then we are going to have negative 1, negative 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is negative 7. Negative 1, negative 7 will be here. So how to find the point? The x is left, right, y is up, down. So left 1, then down 7. This is negative 1, negative 7. Then another point is negative 1, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is negative 4. Then another point is 1, negative 1. So you find these 3 points, then use a ruler, connect them. Okay. Then you are going to graph a line. Okay, just you connect the 3 points together, and don't forget you are going to put arrows at both ends. It represents the graph keeps going. Then if you have more than one graph on the given grid, you need to label the line with an equation. So this is how you use a table of values to do the graphing. But in our future graphing, most of the time we don't use table of values because it's troublesome. So we want to use a slope y-intercept method, okay? And how to use slope and y-intercept method. So we know that slope intercept form for equation of a line is in this form. So compare the given equation with this form, you will see 2 over 3 is your slope, 4 is your y-intercept. When we are doing the graph, we use a y-intercept first, then after that we use a slope to find the second point. So as long as we have 2 points, then we could do the graph. So B is 4. We are going to label the scales. 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1, x, y axis, then 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 for the B. Then for the slope, it's rise or run. So up to, from this point, up to, then this is left, right, right 3. Then you will be able to find another point. So up to, then 1, 2, 3, right 3, you have another point. So up to, right 3. This is how you find the second point. Then once you have the second point, you can just connect these 2 points. Then put arrows at both ends. Then it's done. This is for the y equals 2 over 3 x plus 4. Now you could pause this video and try the next question by yourself. After you finish your graphing, then check your answer. So now we are going to show you how to do the next one. So b equals 7, then m equals -5 over 4. So you find the b first, then use the m to find another point from the 7. So 1, 2, 3, label the axis first and the scales first. So 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then this one, -5 over 4 is down 5, right 4. So the numerator represent up or down. The denominator represent left, right. Then we are going to, from this point 7 down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have these 2 points, then use your ruler, connect these 2 points. Then put arrows at both ends. The graph doesn't stop at these 2 points. Then you label it using the equation -5 over 4 x plus 7. Then it's done. Check your answer. If it's not correct, replay this video. If you still don't understand, ask for help from your teacher, okay? And also we have something, tips that you may want to have, that for the slope that is positive, you will see the line is from the left to right is up. So from left to right is up, then the slope is positive. So if you know this property, then you could check if your graph is correct or not. And for the negative property, you will see from left to right, the graph is going down, okay? So, and also we call this property is increasing. And if from left to right the graph is going down, we call it is decreasing. So always you need to see it from left to right, the same direction with x-axis, okay? You look from left to right to see it's up or down. Then it's increasing up, then decreasing is down. And the slope is positive, this one slope is negative. So now we are going to see the next page. The part B is how can we find the equation of the line. Last page we have the equation, then from the equation we could graph a line. So why the equation is important? Because from the equation we could find for a given x value you can find a y value. So you could predict the future property if we know an equation. So to find the equation of the line, if we want to write it in slope-intercept form, then except the xy for the equation of a line, always you have xy there. But for the m and b for a particular line, the m and b's are numbers. So to find the equation of line, if we have the slope and we have the y-intercept, we could just sub in, then we are going to have the equation of the line. We need two things, slope and also the y-intercept. And there are several types of questions. You may be given both. So both and be given, That is example 1. And one of these given, so you are given M, but B unknown. Okay. Or you may have to solve to find both of them. So both M unknown and also B unknown. So there are 3 types of questions. And example 1, determine the equation of a line for each of the following. So this is a slope. This is a y-intercept. So this is shouldn't be here. Then if the slope m equals 5, b equals 3, then we have the equation is in slope intercept form is this one. We just sub m 5 here, b 3 here, then you will have y equals 5x plus 3. So now you could pause this video and try the B and the C now. So now, once you get your B and C done, you can check your answer. So slope is 1/2, y-intercept is -2. So you just replace the slope with 1/2 and b with -2, you have the equation. So the next one, slope is -1 and the y-intercept is 0 plus 0 is nothing. You could just write it -1x. -x is okay. Then example 2. Example 2, slope is given, but the b is not given. So in the equation mx plus b, you have 2 unknown. Now the slope is 2. You need to find the b. In this equation, you have 4 variables. In order to solve for b, you need to have all the 3 letters, the values given. So you have one slope and you have one point. And for this point, you could use the x coordinate, y coordinate for x and y to sub into this equation. If a point on a line, then this point, the xy coordinate, substitute into that equation of the line, it should satisfy that equation. So that's the reason we could use any point sub in as long as that point on the line that should satisfy this equation by substitute xy into the equation. So we use that property. We sub in m equals 2, x equals 1, and y equals -4 into the slope intercept equation. Then you will see y is -4, m is 2, x is 1 plus b. And this is a linear equation. So we want to isolate the b, we want to move the 2 times 1 to other side. 2 times 1 is 2. We move the 2 to other side. You will have opposite operation is -2. Then b equals -2 minus 4 give you -6. And now you have slope. So we sub. Then we continue. We sub m equals 2. And b equals -6. Into this equation, you will have y equals 2x minus 6. So you pause the video and try the next question by yourself. Once you are done, then play the video and check your answer. So for the question B, we solve. Slope equals negative 1 over 2. This is x value and y value for the point. Then into the slope intercept equation. Then you will see in this equation you have 4 variables. 3 of them are given, then you are able to find the only one unknown. So y is 3, slope is negative 1 over 2, x is negative 4, then plus b. So we use your calculator, do the calculation, negative 1 over 2, it means negative 1 divided by 2, then times bracket negative 4 equals. So 1 over 2 means 1 divided by 2. Then you will find out the answer is 2. So equals 2 plus b. Then in order to find the b, we move the 2 to other side. Opposite operation is minus 2. Then you will have b equals 1. So we have the slope, we have the b, then we sub in the slope and the b to the equation. We have y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 1. Okay, check your answer. If you didn't get it right, then double replay this video and check again. And if you still don't understand it, ask your teacher. So example 3 is different from example 2. M and B both not given, so we need to find the M first, then after that we find the B. And in order to find the M, we are going to use a rise over run. Rise is a y difference, the difference between the y. So this is a rise is 9, and the run is difference of x from 1 to 4 is up 3, from 3 to 12 is up 9. So this is rise, this is run. And if you see it on the graph, it will be, so this is a 1, 4, this is a 3, this is a 12. Okay, so from 3 to 12 is up 9, from 1 to 4 is run is 3. So this is a 1, 3, this is a 4, 12. So this is how you find the point. So then the slope is rise over run. Then remember always the y difference first. So it's 9 over 3 give you 3. Once we have the slope, we could use the method in example 3 by substitute slope and one of the point. Both of them works. They will give you the same b value, so we pick the easier one. So x equals 1, so we sub. M equals 3, x equals 1, y equals 3 into the y equals mx plus b. Then in this equation you have 4 variables, 3 of them given, then you have only one unknown, then we can solve it. So this one will be y is 3, m is 3, x is 1, so bracket means times, plus b. No operation sign between these two numbers means multiply. 3 times 1 give you 3, then we move it to other side will be minus 3. So negative 3 plus 3 give you 0. So the b value is 0. Then we write the equation is mx, m is 3, so 3x. Plus b is 0, we don't need to write it. Now pause your video and try the next one. Once you are done, then we are going to see this one is from 6 to 12 is up 6. From negative 4 to negative 6 is down 2. So the slope will be rise over run. 6 over negative 2 give you negative 3. Then we are going to sub. M equals negative 3. X equals, just pick one of the point, negative 4. Y equals 6 into the equation y equals mx plus b. Then we are going to have 6 equals negative 3, negative 4 plus b. Negative 3 times negative 4 give you 12. We move the 12 to other side will be minus 12. Negative 12 plus 6 give you negative 6. Then we have the slope, we have the b value, we sub in to y equals mx plus b is negative 3x minus 6. So check your answer, please. So part C, we are going to see two special cases. The parallel lines and the perpendicular lines. Parallel lines means the two lines will never ever intersect with each other. We use arrows to represent the lines are parallel. And the perpendicular lines means you have two lines that formed 90 degrees. So parallel lines have the same slope. The slope will be same. And the different intersect, y-intercept. And the perpendicular lines, the slope are negative reciprocal. And they may have the same y-intercept and maybe not. B value may be same, maybe not. Negative reciprocal also you could think is negative then flip over. Okay, this is state a parallel line. So for one line, you could have infinite numbers of line parallel. So as long as you write one of the line, then it's okay. So parallel lines, they have the same m but different b. So we just write y equals 2x and b could be different, maybe 100. And this one, slope need to be same. Then for the y-intercept could be any numbers. And this one equals 6x, then we may not bother to write any b value there. B could be 0. They are not going to be same, then they are parallel as long as the slopes are same. And the next one, I think, is perpendicular. So change that to perpendicular lines, okay? Then not parallel. They need to be perpendicular. So this is 2. Negative flip. We don't have denominator here. You can always change an integer to a fraction by divided by 1. So negative, then flip 1 over 2. This is your new slope, then x. For the b value, you could just write as 0, or you could just write any numbers there. It's okay. This one, negative, negative becomes positive, then flip is 1 over 3x. Then any b value is okay. This one, negative, then flip is 1 over 6x. Then we don't bother to write the b value there. B is 0. Then it's done. So these are how you are going to find the slope for the parallel line and perpendicular line. The example 3. You will see determine the equation of a line. So we know determine an equation of a line, it means you need to find the slope, then find the b value. So if parallel to this line, then we know the slope will be same as this line. So m equals -3, but you don't have the b. The b need to be different from the 1. How to find the b? Slope given, you have 1 point, so you have 3 variables are given. Then sub m equals -3, x equals -1, y equals 3 into this equation. So we have 3 equals -3 times -1 plus b. -3 times -1, you will have +3. Then in order to find the b value, we need to isolate b. We move the +3 to other side. By doing opposite operation will be -3. So -3 plus 3 give you 0. Then this is your b value. So now you have the m. You have the b, we sub in these two into the equation y equals mx plus b. You will have y equals m is -3 and b is 0 plus 0. You don't need to write it there. Now pause your video and do question B. Once you are done, then play the video, check your answer. So perpendicular to this one, perpendicular slope will be negative, then flip 1 over 4. And this passes through a point. This is x and y value. Then we sub in to the equation y equals mx plus b to find the b value. Then we are going to see 1 equals -1 over 4 times 4 plus b. So on your calculator, do the fraction -1 divided by 4, then times 4, then equal sign. You will have -1. So 1 equals -1 plus b. Then in order to solve for b, we want to isolate b. We want to move the -1 to other side. Do the opposite operation, you will have +1. So 1 plus 1 give you 2, then equals b. Then write the statement y equals the slope is a new slope. It's a perpendicular slope. It's -1 over 4. So -1 over 4x. Then the b value is 2. So +2. That is done. Check your answer. it will be word problems and in standard form for equation of a line. So problem 1 is 2 footballs and 2 basketballs cost $48. It asks you to determine an equation to represent this situation. What it means is you translate a sentence in English into an equation in mathematics. So and means plus, cost is equal sign. So 3 footballs plus 2 basketballs equals $48. So we translate the sentence in English into an equation in mathematics, but we need to indicate what the F and the B represent. The F represent price of a football and B is price of a basketball. Then it asks you if the basketball cost $12 each. Then how much does a football cost? So we sub the B with 12, no dollars, it's just the numbers. 3F plus 2 times 12 equals 48. Then you will see this is just a linear equation again. We move the 2 times 12, that is 24 to other side. Do the opposite operation, plus becomes minus. Then you are going to have 3 footballs equals 24. Then we move the 3 to other side. You will have F equals 8. And here the 8 means dollars. So a football costs $8. Then it's done. Therefore, okay. So this is how you solve for one-word problems using an equation of a linear relation. Then after that, we are going to see problem 2. So problem 2 looks like more complicated. So you have $20. So your total is $20. Then what they did, it didn't, okay. Chips cost $3 and the jar of ice cost $2. So it asks you how many jars of ice can you buy if you buy 4 bags of chips. So this is more complicated. So you have $20, then $3 for chips, $2 for the jar, each jar, okay? Then if you have 3 jars, then it will be 2 times 3 give you $6. If you have 2 bags of the chips, then $3 times 2 give you $6. So the unit price times quantity give you the price. So this is one equation, and it asks you how many jars can you buy if you buy C equals 4 bags. So 3 times 4 plus 2 times jars equals 20. Then we are going to move the 3 times 4 is 12 to other side. Doing opposite operation is minus. Then you will have 2 jars. 2 times jars equals $8. Then divided by 2, then each j equals 4 jars. Okay, this is so therefore you can buy 4 jars. The reason why we pick these two problems because you will see each equation, they are not in the slope y-intercept form. So now we are going to copy these two equations here. 3f plus 2b equals 48. This is an equation from problem 1. Then equation from problem 2 is 3c plus 2j equals 20. Each of them is not in the slope y-intercept form. So that is also the reason why we need to study the standard form. So standard form is in ax plus by minus c equals 0. So it's not in the slope intercept form. So when we have something in this form, when we are graphing, we have two strategies to graph. One is finding the x and the y-intercept. So x-intercept means a point on the x-axis. The point on x-axis, all the y value, they are 0. So when we want to find x-intercept, we let y equals 0. Y equals 0, then we sub in, the y term is gone, you have only 2x equals 10. Then move the 2 to other side, do the opposite operation, you have x equals 5. What it means that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 1 point here, 5, 0 on that line. And for the y-intercept, on the y-intercept, the x value is 0. So x equals 0, then x term, 2 times 0 is 0, so it's gone. You have only y term and the right side left. We solve for y, we divided 5 to both sides, you will have y equals 2. So that means here y equals 2. Then you have 2 points you could graph the line. So we just put 2 arrows at both ends, and this time we are going to graph 2 lines on the same grid given, so we need to label the line, use 2x plus 5y equals 10. This is for one line, then we do the same thing to the others. Now pause your video and try the question B by yourself. Once you are done, check the answer. So now we are going to take up this answer. X-intercept is y equals 0. You have 3x equals 12 only. Move the 3 to other side. You have x equals 4. And for the y-intercept, x equals 0. Then you have negative 4y equals 12. We bring the negative 4 to other side by doing division. Y equals negative 3. So on the graph, we are going to find x equals 4, y 1 to negative 3. So this is negative 1, 1, negative 1. Then we are going to use a line, connect them. So you just put arrows at both ends, and please label this using the equation of the line. Then it's done. I showed you use the x-intercept, y-intercept to graph a line that is in standard form. And we do have another strategy is we convert the standard form to the slope intercept form. Then we know how to graph using the slope intercept form. So we could, by doing the conversion, then we can graph it. So from this one, how to convert it to slope intercept form, we are going to solve for y. So solve for y, we treat 2x as constant, so we move the 2x to other side by doing opposite operation is minus 2x. So we have 5y equals, we are going to write x first, then constant after. Then comparing to the slope intercept form, the left side needs to be y by itself. So we need to move the 5 to other side by doing the opposite operation, division. Divided 5 to each term. Then you will have y equals negative 2 over 5 x plus 2. Then this is the slope y-intercept form. We do the graph, find the slope for the y-intercept first, then use the slope to graph it. This is down to right 5. So b is 2. We find the 0, 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1, xy. So label it first. Then 2 is here, then down to right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have the 2 points. We could use a ruler to graph it. Then put arrows at both ends. Then label this one using the original equation is okay. Then now pause your video and try the B by yourself. Try the B, C, D by yourself. Then later we are going to take up the answer. Once you are done, play the video, check your answer. So now I will show you how to do the question B. Solve for y, then move the 3x to other side. You have negative 4y equals negative 3x plus 12. Then we don't want to see the negative 4 here. Each term we divide it by negative 4. Then you will have y equals negative negative becomes positive. Then minus 3. So find the b first. Then use the slope to find the another point. So negative 3, 1, 2, 3 is negative 3 here. Then up 3, right 4 is here. Then use your ruler, find the graph the line. So it's just, and make sure put arrows at both ends. Then label it, use the equation. Then it's done. Check your answer to see if you got it right. Then we continue to do these 2 questions. Move the 2x to other side. So you have 4y equals negative 2x plus 8. Then each term divided by 4 because we want to have y equals mx plus b. So 2 over 4 is 1 over 2. You keep 2 over 4, it is right too, okay? Find the b is 2. Then down 1, right 2. Then you have the 2 points, you connect them, you are able to graph the line. So it's a little bit off, I can just change it. Then this is a graph for 2x plus 4y equals 8. Then we do the next one. Move the x to other side. You have negative 3y equals negative x plus 6. Then we move the negative 3 to other side by doing opposite operation will be division. Then you have y equals 1 over 3x minus 2. Then when we do the graphing, we find the negative 2 first. Then up 1, right 3. Then you connect these 2 points, you will have the equation. Then put arrows at both ends and write the equation beside the line. So I highly encourage you use a color marker. Then you can just graph them. It's easier to see which line is for which equation. And today's class homework is deltamath.com 1.2 all paper pencil work practice site 456. I highly encourage you to do the work on Deltamath because in future we may have online test. So this all means you do either this one or this one, not both. Okay, so one of the tools. Okay, one of don't need to do both. And that's all for today's lesson. Thank you.